Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. A couple of small items. Actually, it's really just one item, two parts of one item, and then on to today's subject. Rasmussen, one of my two go-to pollsters. The other one is Trafalgar. But Rasmussen, today, as I'm recording this, which is Monday, the day before you're seeing it, had a couple of polls out. They were doing one called White House Watch. Every Wednesday they were doing a poll, or they were publishing a poll of the national vote for the presidential race. Now in this last period, I think we're 8, 9 days away from the election. They are doing it every day, so it could change day by day because they seem to fluctuate quite a bit, at least on the approval ratings, and actually even in the presidential poll week to week. Now it's day to day. We'll see what happens. But as of today, Monday, Trump is ahead by 1 point, 48 to 47, a small lead, but he is ahead in the national vote. So if that carries through, that would mean, I find this hard to believe. I will be really surprised if this happens, but it would mean, if that poll is accurate, that Trump would win the popular vote too, not just the Electoral College. I'm hoping for him to win the Electoral College, of course. But, full disclosure, I'm a conservative, so when I say good news, just take that into consideration. I'm a conservative. I'm voting for, I already voted in early voting. I voted for Trump, so take that into consideration. So if you, like me, are a Trump supporter, that's good news. Other good news is his approval rating today, 52%. 52%, that's over the 50% threshold that is supposed to mean that you get elected. And finally, just to remind everybody, Rasmussen polls likely voters. So we're not talking about just all adults or registered voters. We're talking about likely voters with a history of voting. Okay, on to today's subject. Well, you know what? Let me mention one other thing. I wanted to mention this before. I don't think I did. But in Michigan, Trafalgar, my other go-to poll, has John James, the Republican candidate for Senate, ahead of Gary Peters, the Democrat. What's interesting, or what I want to mention about James, if he wins, is he's black. So we already have Tim Scott from South Carolina, black senator, Republican. If James wins, we're going to have two, which is really important, I think. And something else important, too. There's some rapper, I don't remember his name. I'm not going to go. If I can find it, I'll put it up on the subtitle. All that matters is that a third rapper has come out supporting Donald Trump. And it's for the same reason as 50 Cent. That's what they call him, 50. It says like a 50 cent, but it's not 50 cent. He calls himself 50 Cent, obviously using a vernacular, prosaic pronunciation. But he doesn't want to pay Joe Biden's taxes under his proposed plan. So there is another rapper, a second rapper, who doesn't want to either. And then I don't know who the other one, Ice Cube, I know has said supportive things about Trump. I don't know if he said that he is advocating voting for him. And now on to today's subject, since we're talking about black voters. This is very much related. Unfortunately, it's fortunately that it's happening. Unfortunately, this is England. So we're going across the pond, as our British friends like to say, across the pond. Here's the headline. UK Equalities Minister Kemi Badenoch's comments about Black Lives Matter are some American politicians needs to hear. I'm reading it as written. Obviously, there's a typo in there. American politicians need to hear, not needs to hear. Black Lives Matter is the largest political party in the United States and has so much influence that many politicians are afraid to call it out by name when addressing the grievances caused by it. Across the pond, some of the United Kingdom's politicians don't seem to have that hang-up, and one in particular is the Equalities Minister, Kemi Badenoch. Here's the video.
What we are against is the teaching of contested political ideas as if they are accepted fact. We don't do this with communism, we don't do this with socialism, we don't do it with capitalism. And I want to speak about a dangerous trend in race relations that has come far too close to home to my life, and it is the promotion of critical race theory, an ideology that sees my blackness as victimhood and their whiteness as oppression. I want to be absolutely clear, this government stands unequivocally against critical race theory. Some schools have decided to openly support the anti-capitalist Black Lives Matter group, often fully aware that they have a statutory duty to be politically impartial. Black lives do matter, of course they do, but we know that the Black Lives Matter movement, capital BLM, is political. I know this because at the height of the protest, I've been told of white Black Lives Matter protesters calling, and I'm afraid I apologize for saying this word, calling a black armed police officer guarding Downing Street a pet nigger. That is why we do not endorse that movement on this side of the House. It is a political movement, and what would be nice would be for members on the opposite side to condemn many of the actions that we see this political movement instead of pretending that it is a completely wholesome anti-racist organization. There is a lot of pernicious stuff that is being pushed, and we stand against that. We do not want to see teachers teaching their white pupils about white privilege and inherited racial guilt. And let me be clear, any school which teaches these elements of critical race theory as fact, or which promotes partisan political views such as defunding the police without offering a balanced treatment of opposing views, is breaking the law.
Welcome back, and that's it for today. Just want to say that I appreciate everybody taking time to visit with me today. I would also appreciate it if you could do it thumbs up if you like this video. Share it with anybody you think would also like the video. You can put comments in the comment section below the video, as well as questions, suggestions for future topics. You could subscribe. I love getting subscribers. You could also visit my music channel that I started for fun. Original songs, putting a link in the description. If you want to visit, that would really be great. But most of all, come back and see me again. I look forward to seeing all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.